As a car guy, I'm always looking for an opportunity to jump into my favorite ride and drive to a cool destination, especially when food is involved. Well, in this episode, we found that perfect opportunity at the Vintage Grill and Car Museum here in Weatherford, Texas. Hi guys, this is Tim Miller, and the Car Guy Show starts now.
Welcome to the Car Guy Show. Join award-winning automotive magazine publisher Tim Miller, along with his co-hosts, national champion race car driver Kristin Treager, and country singer, songwriter, and driving instructor Luke Betchner as they travel the country looking at car life and car culture. Join us as we meet car guys in their cars, in their garages, at their clubs, and at their events. Come along for a real kick in the asphalt.
We're here with Tom, the owner and mastermind behind Vintage Grill and Car Museum. Tell me, what was the inspiration for this?
Well, when my wife and I got engaged in New Zealand, we went to a restaurant in Sydney, Australia that was a restaurant car museum. It was a huge building, and in the middle of it they had roped off an area which was the restaurant with all of the antique cars around it, where you were sitting there at night with all the lights and all the different cars. And I thought this was one of the neatest ideas I think I've ever seen. I thought it would be a great deal to have in the U.S. And then I had the property to start a museum in Fort Worth, and because of several events, and someone had mentioned doing the museum to make it look like an old gas station. And as soon as they mentioned that, I thought of this building, which was empty, abandoned basically, and that's how it kind of developed. And then Jerrett Joslin, who had the Wild Mushroom, had become a good friend, and we talked to him about doing a restaurant in here, and that's really how it all came about.
And you've taken that inspiration and turned it into a whole new level, because your restaurant's open 7 days a week.
Yes.
And serving food all day long.
Yeah. And we're looking now at expanding. I've got the building across the street, and I'm going to talk to some other collectors to bring their cars in. You know, a lot of these people are storing cars at various places. If they can store them for a little less and have them on display, that
and then
would
we
be
can all enjoy them.
Yes.
What a great idea.
Yep.
So in the museum that you have right now, you have your own personal car collection.
Yes.
What do we have in there that we can look forward to seeing?
Well, of course, I just recently acquired the 41 Packard that was used in The Godfather.
Very cool.
If you remember the scene where they shot the driver and he said, "Leave the gun, take the cannoli." So I got that car, and of course I've got a 6-wheel drive Jeep for people that are into off-roading. I have LBJ's 64 Lincoln. I've got one GM concept car, which was in the Heritage Museum in Detroit. Of course, when GM went bankrupt, they liquidated a lot of the cars. So it's a unique, one-of-a-kind car.
And across the street where you will be adding on to the museum, what kind of cars are you looking to add for that collection?
Well, I just have to talk to other collectors and see what they have. Now, the building has several different sections, and we could possibly have one section for 30s cars, one for 40s, one for 50s, you know, something on that idea. And then we may also have something like a coffee shop in there. People can get a cup of coffee and go around and look at the cars.
Sounds perfect for a car guy and a car gal to come out, cruise around, take a look at your cars, get a little bit of coffee, have a great meal in the grill.
Yep.
What a perfect day.
Yep.
Well, I am looking forward to meeting your chef and taking a look at some of your cool cars that you have in your collection.
Well, let's go in and let's meet Jerrett and have some lunch and look at the cars.
Okay.
Thank you.
watching The Car Guy Show. We'll be right back.
You're watching The Car Guy Show.
It's a kick in the asphalt.
My name is Jerrett Joslin. I'm the executive chef here at the Vintage Grill in downtown Weatherford, Texas. The idea came about a year and a half ago when I was having a conversation with Tom and Therese Moncrief, my partners, kind of in the regards to doing something different. Tom had an idea that he saw in 1988 when they got married, when they were over in Australia, of a vintage car museum that encompassed a restaurant. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take Tom's idea and bring it to life. I was at a point where I was looking to do something different. I had an existing restaurant which we still own. It's called the Wild Mushroom Steakhouse. It's in Fort Worth. I was looking for a catering kitchen. Not looking for a restaurant, but more of a catering kitchen to do more special events. We ended up coming across this location, which was an old gas station and a muffler shop. Tom purchased the property. Kind of came up with the idea. I wasn't going to do poodle skirts and rollerblades or roller skates and fountain drinks and stuff, but 20 years of design in restaurants, I couldn't put my name on that. So I sat down with Tom and the architect, kind of got the ideas, what they wanted to do, and I put my own flavor on it. A lot of concrete, there's a lot of metals, there's a lot of blues, there's a lot of cars. The open air, the natural light was something that we were looking for. The roll-up doors, to bring in the inside out, and we wanted to be able to bring that inside. We're set on the main road here on Fort Worth Highway. It's actually the Bankhead Highway. It's one of the oldest highways in the country. And I wanted people to be able to see the inside of the restaurant as well as be able to enjoy the outside. The menu that we did was more Southern comfort. I wanted to be able to put food on the menu that I enjoyed. Fortunately enough, I was blessed with a great palate at a young age to be able to enjoy food. When I do my menus, it was one of those deals where I wanted people to be able to enjoy what I enjoyed myself. So everything on the menu that we do here, from the chicken fried steak to the chicken and waffles to the Tom burger, is stuff that I enjoy myself. It's all farm to table. It's fresh as we can get it. We have a farm to market across the street that we purvey some of our stuff from, as well as some of the local ingredients. We're Texas fresh. We use Black Angus for all of our burgers. We use Akiushu for the hamburgers itself. And just fresh fruits and vegetables. And we really enjoy it here at the Vintage Grill in downtown Weatherford.
This is probably my favorite vehicle in the museum. It is a 1988 Jeep Wagoneer that was built by Popular Mechanics magazine for the '07 SEMA show in Las Vegas. Of course, it is a show car. When Popular Mechanics built it, it is on an '04 Dodge Durango chassis. So it has the 5.7 liter Hemi engine and all of the modern equipment of the modern Dodge Durango. This is a no expense spared project, of course, for the SEMA show. Paint, everything on here is top quality. The seats in here have Popular Mechanics embossed in the seats. Purchased it from a dealer up north. I think a lot of people, when I made the offer on it, I was kind of surprised I got it, because a lot of people probably didn't really realize what a show car was or what extent had been taken to build this. As I said, it is a no expense spared project by Popular Mechanics. and everything on it looks as good underneath and under the hood as it does on the outside. This is President Lyndon Baines Johnson's 1964 Lincoln, which is believed to have been his favorite car. This was in the leak auction in Dallas. It did not sell, and my wife Therese, at the end of the auction, went up and we gave them an offer if they decided to take it, and they didn't seem to be interested. But as soon as we got back home in Fort Worth, they called, and the guy said he didn't want to haul it all the way back to the Johnson Ranch, so he agreed to our price. And of course this, they say, was his favorite car to use on his ranch, and of course the story goes that he would hunt out of this car and the Secret Service would follow him around when he had his drink. When his drink would be empty, he'd hold it out and they'd fill it back up as he's driving around the ranch. This is the newest addition to the museum. It is a barn find. This was in Paul Andrews' auction. We call it the Godfather Car because it was used in the original Godfather movie, where mob boss Clemenza ordered the hit, and they're driving out in the country. Clemenza asked to pull over. They pull over while he's doing his business. You hear the gunshots as Clemenza walks back to the car. Paulie Gatto is dead in the car leaning against the wheel. And Clemenza says, "Leave the gun, take the cannoli." And of course it is still covered in dust from the barn. The car is a 41 Packard 180, which is extremely rare. It's one of less than 99 produced, so it is a very valuable and historic car. This is a 98 Pontiac Grand Prix G8 concept car. This was in the GM Heritage Museum in Detroit. When General Motors went bankrupt, they liquidated a lot of their museum cars. This car, of course, was a concept, so it is not street legal. It does have a title, but the title says it cannot be retitled or driven on a public road. It has a Corvette LS1 V8 and all-wheel drive. It supposedly is the only car ever produced by GM at that time with a V8 and all-wheel drive. Of course, this is a blast to drive with a Corvette engine with 350 horsepower and all-wheel drive. It definitely will sink you back in the seat.
Hi, I'm Drew Dorbritz with Dorbritz Designs. You're watching The Car Guy Show. We'll be right back.
We are in the beautiful museum of the Vintage Grill and Car Museum with the curator, Terry.
Thank you.
Terry, how did you get involved with this?
Well, I'm lucky enough that I run a board called Cruisin for a Cure, and Tom and Therese Moncrief sit on the board. And after one of our meetings, I heard Tom talk to another board member about getting ready to, they were in the process of building this, and that he was going to need a curator for the museum. And I know cars, I know people, I know Tom and Therese. So we went to dinner and we talked about it, and then we went to another meeting and talked about it. And we're able to come together, and I'm tickled to death. I love my job.
Great, sounds like a dream job.
Yes, it is.
So what do you do as a curator for this museum?
I basically oversee the museum to make sure it's in good running order, the cars are clean, The cars have good signage and tell about each car. I'm here to just oversee to make sure people respect the museum, that it is a museum. And most of the time I spend half my time reminiscing with the people that come into the museum. And every one of them have a story to tell, or they owned that car, or they knew somebody who owned that car and stuff like that.
So out of all the cars here, you have a good variety. Which one's your favorite?
Well, as far as just a pure hot rod, the G8 Pontiac with an LS1 Corvette fuel-injected engine is obviously the one that would be the most fun on the street to drive.
And that's all-wheel drive too.
Yes,
Pretty
it's
rare.
all-wheel drive. It's a concept car from General Motors. But I do believe my favorite car is the 1930 Pontiac. 1930 Buick. It's all original. Tom is only the third owner, and it's rare that you see a car from 1930 that's original. Only the fenders have been touched up, but it's the original paint, original interior.
Wow.
It does run, not very fast, but it does run. And people do, I've been really surprised that when they come in the museum, they recognize what that car represents, because it's only original once.
Right.
And that's the uniqueness of the car.
And you recently acquired the Godfather car.
Yes.
Can you give me an impression? Come on now.
No, I don't have the toilet paper in my mouth,
Godfather.
but we have ordered the Tommy guns, and we have got the bullet holes ordered, and we probably will celebrate with cannolis, but it was picked up locally at a local auction here just recently, and it's a 1941 Packard, and this particular Packard was at the last of the coach builders that various manufacturers from Cadillac, Buick, and Packard had coach builders that would build the body itself,
right.
And they were very unique.
Separately from the engine.
And so it's a very unique car. It's one of 99 known built, and it's only one of 30 still left in existence.
Wow, very rare.
It's a rare car itself, and the fact that it was used in the movie twice in The Godfather makes it even more unique.
That's so cool.
And we've left it in the barn find look. It's dusty, dirty, and has not been restored. And it kind of lets people know that's what you find sometime in a barn.
Right.
But
has more character to it.
right. You look under the dust and the character of it, and like I said, you find out what you've got.
Now, do you ever get to drive any of these beauties?
Every now and then we have to rotate or move a car, and not as much as I'd like to, but we do keep most all the cars, plugged into battery chargers, and we try and start them every now and then and make sure they're operable. We don't want them to sit here and get where they're not.
Now, you guys will be expanding the museum across the street.
Yes.
What types of cars do you anticipate adding to the collection?
Well, I never can predict what we're going to have. Tom always finds some very unique cars that surprise even me. But what we will do is invite various car collectors that we know to bring their cars and kind of semi-store them, and we will show them at the same time too. So it'll be a combination.
Is there anything that you would personally like to see in the new collection?
Oh, there's a few things. The DeLorean.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because it has a unique story and a unique history itself. That's a stainless steel car and has a colorful history with its owner. We're not necessarily what I would call a muscle car, Corvette type museum, but nearly every one of the cars has a different story to tell.
Maybe add an exotic to the collection?
You never know. Every day's a new day.
Do you all have a mission statement?
I think the main thing we want to do is preserve the past, the history. We have newer cars, we have older cars, but it's cars that you just don't normally get to see. And so I think that's our mission, is to bring something to the public that they actually can come up, look at, take pictures of. And like I said, that's why we don't charge, as far as the restaurant, any admission fee to this museum.
Oh, that's great.
And it's open to all people.
Well, then there's no excuse not to come.
That's right. That's right.
Do you ever get involved with any local car clubs?
I've already given a talk to a couple of the car clubs, invited them out. We will probably do some cruise-ins. In fact, we have a cruise-in with the local club, the Mercedes Club, coming up here shortly in a couple of weeks. And they will come in. We have a meeting room that they can use, and they'll park their cars and we'll display them across the front, and they'll have their meeting. And then, of cruise out. And so we plan to do more of that. Hopefully our weather will cooperate with us more, where we can have more of a outdoor type activity.
Okay, so if people want to come out and enjoy the museum and eat some of the great food you have in the grill, what do they need to do to learn more about this place?
You can go on our website, or you can look on Facebook, and it's Vintage Grill and Museum, and put Weatherford if you want, and they'll find out, you know, menus and hours and specials that we're running and things of this type.
All right, well there you have it. Thanks for sharing your collection with us.
Thank you, glad to have y'all. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Great food, great service, and great cars. A great combination to have a good time. Check out the Vintage Grill and Car Museum the next time you're in Weatherford, Texas. That's it for the Car Guy Show. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like our Facebook page and check out our YouTube channel to watch all our episodes and bonus videos at any time. And remember, this show is a kick in the asphalt.